We would like to know, Uwazuruike started the struggle first, and his method is non-violence. Then you started yours with non-violence too. Was there a time you asked Uwazuruike to team up? Since you both are on the path of the same goal.
That's good.
Which is regional autonomy.
No, Uwazuruike never talked about regional autonomy.
Okay, my bad.
So what happened was, when he now did not accept us to introduce our legal method and political diplomacy, he didn't want us to introduce it. He said his own is non-violence and non-exodus.
Okay.
Okay, non-violence, we understand what is non-violence. But what is non-exodus? And yet he's talking about Biafra, actualizing Biafra, and talking about non-exodus. What do you mean? From our own knowledge of exodus in the Bible, it was when the Jews left Egypt. We call exodus. They left Egypt. But Uwazuruike is saying non-exodus. That in other words, you are not leaving Nigeria and you're talking about Biafra. So what really do you want? So there's a confusion.
Okay.
He did it, that his method is not clear. You are saying non-violence. That is clear. We understand non-violence. But non-exodus, and you say you want sovereign state of Biafra. How would there be sovereign state of Biafra if you are not exoding, leaving Nigeria? You are not exiting Nigeria.
Perhaps he wants Biafra inside Nigeria.
That's if we had said that, he wouldn't have been talking about sovereign state of Biafra. Well, if you are sovereign, you cannot be within another sovereign country.
Okay, Barrister, I think that will be for another day too. Let's proceed to the next question.
That's right. Go ahead.
You created Bilie Human Rights Organization, like you mentioned earlier, and you also said you used Bilie Human Rights to fight the case.
Yes.
Right? Am I right?
That's correct.
Okay, so I would like to know the part that Bilie Human Rights played in the struggle, because some documents available to us online shows it is Bilie Human Rights that took Nigerian government to court.
That's correct. So, like I said, I explained to you that I didn't make myself the leader because under Nigerian customary law, elders of the land have the right to gather their children together, and therefore I created the Elders Council called Council of Elders of Indigenous People under customary law. So under customary law, now the elders were the leaders while I was a legal advisor. And now since Indigenous people of Biafra cannot sue or be sued except in a representative capacity, and then we'll start created that human rights organization. Now, so the role Bilie Human Rights played is that Bilie Human Rights Initiative was the legal entity that represented Biafra in court, and that was how that case was able to stand. So that you cannot sue Indigenous people of Biafra, because we are all Indigenous people of Biafra. Who will you sue? All of us are Biafrans. So who will you sue? Nigeria could not catch any person. We are all protected under the human rights law. A human rights organization shielded us.
That is wonderful.
That is what Nnamdi did not understand. So when he broke away and registered the Indigenous People of Biafra Limited Liability Company, he now became a separate legal entity that can be sued. That's why Nigeria was able to sue him and catch him and proscribe him, his organization. But nobody could touch us because we are Indigenous people. We are amorphous. We are like air, wind, amorphous. You cannot catch any one of us. The human rights organization. Now, what did Nnamdi do? When this case was moving, gathering momentum, I was the one leading, even though the others were in front. But I was the one giving the momentum, giving the force. And the thing was moving. Nnamdi now wrote petition to the federal government. It's also contained in this book. It is contained here. Wrote petition that I should be arrested and prosecuted for perjury. That I deceived Nigerian government by registering a secessionist movement disguised as a human rights organization.
Wow.
He said, Bilie means Biafra liberation in exile. And that I deceived Nigeria and said Bilie means stand up in Igbo language. That is a lie. That I deceived Nigeria. That I should be arrested. He wrote it, a petition. Nnamdi Kanu's group is here. Is here. Is here. You can have a copy of it. That I should be arrested. Nigerian government now invited me because the matter now shifted from independent struggle to now perjury, which is a criminal case against me, complaint against me.
Okay.
Then they now served me with summons to now explain myself, defend myself. And Fortunately, the day I was registering Bile Human Rights Initiative, the officers of the CAC came out and asked me a question. Say, in their, when they put the name on their system, that name Bile, there was a red underline because it's not an English word. So since there was a red underline on it, Bile, they now came and asked, what is Bile? I now explained to them that Bile means stand up in Igbo language. And they wrote it in that certificate. Bile means stand up in Igbo language. They wrote it in that certificate they gave to us.
Okay.
So when the Nigerian government now accused me of perjury, I said no. This question arose at the time of registration, and I explained it means stand up. And if you doubt me, go and ask Igbo people the meaning of Bile. Because that I chose that name Bile because that's the name I usually use in deliverance work. When I want to sing, I say Bile oh, Bile oh, Bile oh, Bile Bile. That is the song I usually sing. So I use that word Bile, meaning stand up.
All right, Barrister. Thank you very much. You said there are documents to back up this
what I'm telling you,
what you are saying.
Yes.
So we would like to have the documents available to the public so that everybody will see it for themselves.
I'll give you everything.
And also I will come across your video where you said he also wrote to CAC to cancel the registration. Or
that is correct. That is the petition I'm talking about.
Okay,
they said
so
that I should be arrested, and that the certificate of incorporation of Bile Human Rights should be revoked. Nnamdi Kanu and his group made this.
All right. We'll have that document and make it available to the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We don't want to waste too much time. We really have so many things, to talk about. But I think we'll just have to ask a few more questions and then we'll...
That's correct. Go ahead. I'm here.
All right, then. People are assuming, I don't know, maybe Nnamdi Kanu's group or general public, they are assuming that you have been silent about everything Nnamdi did. The incitement, the violence and all that. That you were silent. Only for you to start talking now that he's in prison. What do you have to say about that? Have you been saying anything about what Nnamdi Kanu was doing?
Yes, if you go online and type my name, Emeka, you will see all the things I have said against Nnamdi Kanu. And whether on YouTube or publication, you will see. In fact, at a point, his members started hating me. Nnamdi hated me so much that he ordered his followers to kill me. I can play the video late. He gave them order to kill me, that there's nothing like going to court. That IPOB is not in court. Any person saying that he's in court, IPOB is in court with any person, should be killed. He gave them order to kill me. They would have killed me if they had been able to kill me, but they couldn't kill me. God did not allow them to kill me.
That's okay. That's all right.
So I have been talking against all his atrocities, but the people did not want to listen to me until now.
All right. Since Nnamdi's detention, what have you been able to do about the struggle? Did you abandon it?
Well, the thing is that the struggle is, we're talking about Biafra independence or freedom. Now, many people do not understand what we're talking about. In this book I wrote, that is actually the origin of indigenous people of Biafra. This book, it says, Biafra or Nigerian presidency, what do Igbos want? Now, it is in this book that I made the vision clear. You see, they call me IPOB founder and vision bearer. That's the vision bearer. I know I have the vision where we're going because I conducted this research for 7 years to know what the Igbos actually want. And that is why I put it in this book. Unfortunately, Igbo people, most of them do not read. What they believe, they just depend on rumor, emotionalism. They don't take time to read and analyze issues. Critical analysis, they lack it. So, but this book shows exactly what we need, what Igbo people want. Dr. Uwazuruike finished this book and said that this is the Bible for Biafran freedom. Bible. That's how he described it. Now, so when Nnamdi Kanu deviated, what we now did was to reorganize, re-strategize. Because I'm the vision bearer, I know where we're going. So we said, okay, we moved and had meeting with Boris Johnson, British government. Now, I have the documents I will also show you. So I called the elder, say, you cannot do anything to Nigeria, whether you are getting independence or not. You cannot do anything without sitting down to discuss with British government. They said, why? I said, because Britain invested in Nigeria. I showed them the documents from 1882 to 1889 because before I filed this case, I had to go to British authorities to ask questions. How did you enter our land? How did you just travel thousands of miles to Africa to say you are colonizing us? They said no, they didn't colonize us, that they entered legally, that our ancestors and their own ancestors signed an agreement. I said, okay, I want to see those agreements. And they gave me those agreements from 1882 to 1889.
And you have it now?
I have all the things, how they entered our land.
All right, barrister. Would love to, know more about that. But that will be for another day. We'll definitely have you back in the studio so you can tell us more.
That's all right.
Sticking to the questions of the day. According to you, Nnamdi betrayed Uwazuruike and then came to join the IPOB which you created. May I ask why you accepted him and made him in charge of Radio Biafra, even after hearing from Uwazuruike?
Yes,
what he did?
It's a good question. Now, you see, when we started, we didn't have any media, any person to broadcast, to help us to spread our message. So when Nnamdi Kanu joined us, after I heard from Uwazuruike and asked him the question, Uwazuruike told me, and I believed Uwazuruike. Uwazuruike said he didn't do anything bad. It was just tarnishing his image. Nnamdi was just tarnishing his image. I said, he has come to join us. He said, he has no problem. The only thing is that his hands are clean. He never offended Nnamdi. In fact, he was the one sponsoring Nnamdi. I said, okay. Now, we went ahead. Now, because of lack of, we needed media. And Nnamdi was very talented in media work. So I accepted him. He didn't have any except that laptop. He said all they needed was money to buy airtime. And so every meeting, when we held the meeting, every time we held a meeting, we contribute money for their airtime and give to Nnamdi Kanu for their department to do the airtime. So the money we were giving to their department was from us. We make contributions and give to Nnamdi Kanu's group. It was a department, a media department, to be using it for their airtime. So okay. I needed a media. And so, of course, I fell into his hand because I had no alternative.
That is to say, you were desperate about having a media.
That's correct.
Person.
Yes.
Okay. And he happened to be available.
Available person.
That's okay. According to you, barrister, the struggle would have gone far if not what Nnamdi did.
That's correct.
How did what he did affected the international relationships you created for Biafra? Because you mentioned you visited some international countries to build relationships and all that.
Yes.
So how did he affect those relationships?
Good. Incidentally, Nnamdi was even the person I sent to Australia in 2013. Because when we were moving, Australian government became interested and invited us for a diplomatic discussion with them. So I called for a meeting of indigenous people of Biafra and said, look at this, look at what we're going to do. They said, okay, I should inform the elders. I informed the elders. The elders said I should come back to Nigeria and take documents from them. I came to Nigeria. The elders signed letter that will take to the government of Australia, extending their regards, the greetings from the elders of Biafra land, asking for the Australian government to recognize us. So I came back to London, called for a meeting, said we want to send somebody to Australia to go with us. Then I called Modestus Okezie Ogu in Australia. Said we will send somebody. After our meeting, we'll send you somebody who will go with you, 5 of you, to represent us in that meeting. It was the Biafran Alliance that midwife that invitation, that diplomatic meeting. Biafran Alliance in Australia. So at the meeting, I wanted Chukwumegemba to travel to Australia. Somebody said, and Chukwumegemba was willing to travel. Somebody said, no, since Nnamdi Kanu is a media man and can carry the laptop, let him go. After the meeting, let him stay in Australia and break a broadcast, and it will going to boost our image. People say it's true, it's true. I turned to Chukwumegemba. Ugemba said, okay, fine, that he's willing to step down. Ugemba stepped down, said, okay, let Nnamdi go. Then I called Okeze Modestus Ogu in Australia. I said, we are sending Nnamdi Kanu. Now, when he comes, he will come with documents the elders have signed. Now, pick 3 or 4 people among you. You'll be about 5 to go to that meeting and represent us very well. And that was done. So we now contributed money and paid for Nnamdi Kanu's flight ticket. All of us are British citizens, so we don't need visa to travel to Australia or to all those Commonwealth countries. So all we needed was to buy tickets for him, and he didn't have the money. We contributed money and bought tickets for Nnamdi Kanu and put him on the plane, and he went to Australia for that meeting.
Okay. My question is, how did his broadcast, his violence affect the relationship, the international relationship?
Good. The Australian government told him, in fact, when he came back, he gave us a report, which was good, that we should continue in that peaceful diplomatic method. We should continue and avoid violence. Okay, fine. But he didn't. Nnamdi now, that exposure maybe entered his head. And now he started broadcasting. He now even started insulting everybody, insulting the elders. That was 2013. He started insulting the elders, insulting government, insulting British government, insulting Nigerian government, insulting every authority.
You mean to say he insulted international government?
Yes, insulted British government, American government, all the people, he insulted everybody.
And that
how will the Australia now or British government now support us with all these insults? How will England support somebody insulting the Queen of England? So his rhetoric, his violence, his vituperations now affected every. They now started seeing him as a loose cannon that will destroy the whole world if given power to do so.
And so, he did that before the ostracization?
Yes, all these things culminated in his ostracism or excommunication. God, we warned him, elders warned him and warned. He refused to listen. And if I said that we are saboteurs, that we have eaten bribe from Nigerian government.
All right, thank you very much for that explanation. So what, we may ask, what is the importance of the international relationship in Biafran struggle? I mean, how can it help in Biafra actualization? Now,
I said we have gone far. You know, in 2016, we got ECOSOC status of United Nations.
What does that mean?
ECOSOC status is, in fact, it's like quarter to independence. What happened is that because we are operating under the human rights organization called Believe Human Rights Initiative, we applied to United Nations to grant us ECOSOC status, like what they call observer status, but it's ECOSOC under which is reserved for the civil society organizations. So we were admitted in 2016 using our human rights organization, Believe Human Rights Initiative. We are full members of United Nations ECOSOC. We have 3 seats in the United Nations. Good. So that would have helped us now to push Biafran program, Biafran independence project to the General Assembly. ECOSOC would have done that for us. Now, we have lost credibility. I mean, Biafran struggle has lost credibility in the eyes of the international community.
Is there anything that can be done?
The face of Nnamdi Kanu is now projected as the face of the struggle.
Barrister, yes. Can something still be done?
Yes, something can be done. That's the first answer.
All right. Thank you very much. In our next session, we would like to know, all those questions that we're reserving, it's for another interview.
That's all right.
For today, let's focus on what we want to ask. You ask for date of hearing from the appeal court. You mentioned that the case is in court. I mean, the case between Biafra and Nigerian government is in court, yes, and still in court.
Yes.
And that you asked for date of hearing from the appeal court in 2025 to continue the case between Biafra and Nigeria.
Yes.
What is the state of the matter right now?
In the Federal High Court, Nigerian government raised an issue against us and said that indigenous people of Biafra has been proscribed.
Hold on. You mean you filed the case in Federal High Court? Then what led you to Court of Appeal?
That's right. That's what I said.
For what reason?
That's good. So the case starts with the Federal High Court.
Right.
Because it's a case against Nigerian government. So we have to go to Federal High Court. So the case is IPOB trading as customary government of indigenous people of Biafra versus Federal Republic of Nigeria and Attorney General. Customary government of indigenous people of Biafra versus Federal Republic of Nigeria and Attorney General. So now, federal government came with a position that they proscribe indigenous people of Biafra, and therefore that case should die, should be struck out. We argued and argued that the indigenous people of Biafra they proscribe is the one of Nnamdi Kanu, not the elders IPOB, not the original. They refused to listen to us, and the judge took side with them and said, indigenous people of Biafra is the same indigenous people of Biafra. They don't want to know whether it is the one that belongs to Nnamdi Kanu or the one that belongs to the elders, and therefore our case should be struck out. So they struck out our case. In fact, it said dismissed. That was why we went to appeal. If they said struck out, we would have reinstated it. But they said dismissed, and that means if it's dismissed in the High Court, we go to Court of Appeal. So we went to Court of Appeal.
Okay.
That's why we are now.
Okay.
So since Nigerian government has now proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, it has affected this case. Because you can no longer use the name indigenous people of Biafra in any case now, unless that proscription order is set aside.
Is that the reason they refuse to give hearing date?
I don't know whether it is the reason, because I don't think it is the reason, because the most important thing is that let us go and argue. And let them now say that the original indigenous people of Biafra is the same one which Nnamdi Kanu used. If they argue that, we go to Supreme Court, but if we defeat them at the Court of Appeal, then we can continue with the case.
Okay, from the look of things, it seems Nigerian government do not want to continue with that case, and that is why they are refusing to give the date of hearing.
That is a good ground for us to go to international court.
Oh, all right, barrister. Going to international court, would that mean? Can you explain it to us?
That what I mean is that under the international law, you have to go through the local jurisdiction first, then your national court first. When you exhaust the local remedy and they deny you justice, then you go to international court. So what they are doing now means they have denied us justice, and that means that we can now go to international court.
All right, barrister, we have come to the end of this interview. Thank you very much for your time. We wish to have you another time.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you for your time.